So where is the Ventura? It's on the other side of the globe, and there's no need to fly. 35 nights.
Everybody rocked off the ship, and some guests came up to us and said it was the best tour they'd ever done.
So this video is about a ship that goes to America and the Caribbean on a no-fly cruise, which takes a little bit longer, but is not as long as a long cruise.
Cruise ships come in all shapes and sizes. The Ventura is capable of taking 3,000 to 3,500 passengers. The windsurf sailing cruiser is much smaller. St. Kitts is capable of taking 2 more ships, one each side of the jetty over there.
It's not a world cruise like the Arcadia or a grand cruise like the Aurora. This is a long cruise, but it's not too long. The Ventura does 35 nights. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is you get the chance to enjoy the ship and spend time in the ship. So the formal nights, for example, are a bit more of a celebration. You may look at the calendar and say, why are we getting 2 days in New Orleans?
Hello and welcome to New Orleans. We're here for 2 days, which is just as well because due to American immigration, it's going to take till about 12 o'clock to get off the ship.
Some will definitely get off a lot earlier, but a few may take longer. It's all down to the draw. But you will get to enjoy the ship so much more, including the bars and the laundry.
These drives are busy, but there's one available at the other end.
A longer cruise is very different. It's like living in a village with a small community. Let's get started on seeing places you never thought you'd see without flying.
Just along the Mississippi River from the ship is this fantastic paddle steamer. And behind me is the statue of Major General Andrew Jackson. St. Louis Cathedral is in Jackson Square. It's the burial place of Marie Laveau. She was a voodoo high priestess. You find this shop at 612 Domain Street and you can have a reading inside. It's quite spooky in there. Look at these voodoo dolls.
Hola amigos, we have come here to the French Quarter in New Orleans and we have discovered this cigar factory. I am here with Doris right now who's just visiting. We're going to go inside and see what they do.
Brilliant, I can't wait.
I think it's just cigars.
We've just seen a great band called Preservation Hall Jazz Band and you mustn't miss it if you come here. Bourbon Street is a street full of bars and music.
2 nights in New Orleans means you get an overnight.
We just miss Mardi Gras, but you can imagine as the processions come down the street, the people stand on their balconies.
It's hard to explain, but on a 35-night cruise, you feel you live there. You have more time. It's more special.
This week, it was the concert pianist David MacArthur, who was fabulous.
There are 2 versions of the 35-night cruise. One is to the Caribbean and the other is to the Americas and Mexico. We'll show you 6 ports from each. The Metropolis Lounge is another venue that requires you to adhere to the dress code on a formal night. Let's go and find a beach or 2.
There are lots of ships in. You may dock in the container port, but the shuttle bus will bring you here. And from here, you can get your buses and go out on your tours for the day. We came with Debbie. She dropped us off at Carambola Beach Club, which is just along from Friars Bay.
Just chill out on a deck chair and read my book, Cruise Ship Heist.
The further away from the more expensive beach club, the less golden and the more volcanic the sand gets, but the more fun it gets. There's no timetable, but the bus's prices are quite reasonable. If you thought the stone steps in Tallinn were narrow, try these. I think I could.
No, you can't.
The Epicurean is on deck 17, and if you fancy a bit of fine dining and a treat, this is the place to come, but you will have to pay a supplement.
And when the weather's this good...
This is the Epicurean alfresco. You can eat out here or inside. As you can see, it's a bit windy today, but we ate here the other night and it was absolutely delicious. So here we are in Orlando, centre of fun in America, home of all the theme parks. Used to be one way in. You flew to Orlando Airport, but now, quickly becoming more popular is the port of Canaveral, and you can cruise in on the cruise ships and start your holiday from there. Never be afraid of public transport. The bus drivers here are lovely. The number 9 bus will take you all the way to Cocoa Beach. Well, I've dipped my toes in the water and it's not cold, I can tell you. It's very pleasant. So we found Jetty Beach, and now we're going exploring to try and find Cocoa Beach, which I think we've walked about 3 miles. So remember, if If you are doing this walk, you'll need sun cream and water. There's something very, very filmatic about a pier.
But my mind turns to film, because this coast is famous for shrimp fishing. The most famous shrimp fisherman was Forrest Gump. Eating on the pier makes it all extra special. I'm sampling the blackened chicken salad, but the gem is definitely the coconut shrimp.
The cinnamon restaurant is on deck 5.
The alfresco dining available in this climate is amazing, but all eating becomes an event on a 35-night cruise. I want to take you somewhere special, and I want you to meet someone special.
All the way to Nelson's Dockyard costs $7 for 2.
And they'd heard about it on Doris Visits.
This already feels like a great day out. I think Nelson's Dockyard is a very pleasant place to come. A few officers at the time of Nelson left a bun in the oven.
Ah, the bakery. Very funny.
Oh, look. Expensive. If you've seen Nelson's Dockyard and you want to go to the beach, come down to the red and white building, go all the way up the hill and then turn left all the way down to the beach. If you're looking for a natural Caribbean beach, take the trip to Nelson's Dockyard and walk here. It's paradise. So far my Antigua beach trips cost me £1. This is the local bar. It's called Sandra's Bar and Grill.
So, 2 chairs and a parasol will cost you 50 Eastern Caribbean dollars, which is about £15.
But it's still cheap because we got there by bus.
The Oasis pool is on deck 16.
There is time to be pampered and relax between ports.
Both pools have bars, and on this one they can close the top.
But seriously, in this weather, the top is not going to be closed. You're in Miami.
If you've got money, it's very easy to live here. You can't assume anyone knows where the local bus stops, even the policeman, but it stops here.
We also have a bus tour in the open-top bus. 3 routes.
This is Dodge Island, and it's where the cruise ships line up one after the other. The terminal is purely for the ships, but you can walk off the island over this bridge. The American Airlines Arena is literally the other side of the bridge. So this is South Beach. We got the 120 bus from Bayside and got off at Lincoln Road, and it was $2.25. We're in the Setai Hotel having lunch. It's not cheap, but it's a great menu, and you're only here for a day. What's the difference between Ocean Drive and South Beach? 20 minutes walk. This is Ocean Drive.
First we're showing you a port from the USA cruise, and then we're showing you a port from the 35-night cruise. One, then the other. We're lucky enough to have been on both, and I know you will too. They're so good.
With alfresco eating, drinks the size of sinks, music blasting everywhere, Ocean Drive is a party place.
Let's not forget your ship. That's a party place too.
Opposite Breakers Bar is a stage area where they do the sailaways.
But with 35 nights, you can afford to take a night off.
And above it is another sun deck.
Or rest from too much sun, because there will be.
Underneath Breakers Bar is the Laguna Pool and Bar on deck 15. Next to it you can get burgers and chips, and at the other end you can get pizza and ice cream. The Breakers Bar is a great place for a sundowner.
Number 8 is the bearded fig tree, and it is how Barbados got its name, Los Barbados, the bearded one.
We're having a beach day today in Barbados from the cruise ship, and it's really easy to do cheaply. If you like a rum punch and a snorkel, this is the boat for you.
We'll show you north, south, east and west of the island, a bit in the middle.
Very dramatic. I think there's a wedding over there. It's a baptism. The very helpful young lady in the bar said that the botanical gardens are 5 minutes walk up here. So fingers crossed, I'm trusting her. But it is quite a steep hill. Just having a beer at the famous Sandy Lane Hotel. God knows what it's going to cost.
The full version of all these port guides are on our Doris Visits channel. Please subscribe and share with others.
Above the terrace pool is the terrace bar. The buffets are pretty similar on all the P&O and Cunard ships. This part of the buffet turns into the beach house in the evening. This is the buffet, but laid out for the beach house.
Welcome to Freeport in the Bahamas. There's 3 things to do. You can stay in the port and drink in the lively bars, or outside, people form into 2 queues by the taxi master. The first will take you to town, the second to the beach. And to be honest, there's actually a beach next to the town, which is here. They drop you off here, and if you stand looking at the road with the town behind you, there's a police station just along on your right. By the police station, you'll see the sign for the beach. Turn left, and there's a fence that looks like just an alleyway, but that's the alley to the beach. 15 yards down there, pure white sand and lovely blue seas. And by lunchtime, they will be barbecuing fish and selling cold beers. And then in the afternoon, the town, which is really a kind of shopping centre, that starts to get lively, lots of music, and you can go back, explore all of the shops and the bars, and you're near the coaches to get back to the ship. That's Freeport.
Deck 7, the promenade deck. This is the Arena Theatre where you can see everything from classical West End shows to this afternoon they're showing The Greatest Showman.
We're in the beautiful port of St. Lucia.
If you want the beach, don't be tempted to turn left by the bay. You've got to walk up to the roundabout and turn left by the airport. Walk all the way round, come down here to the beach. It's a beautiful Caribbean beach. Not only is it a gorgeous beach, there's natural shade from the trees, so you don't even have to hire a sunbed. It's a shame you can't just run across the runway because the ship really is just over there. A stone's throw from the ship, we found the church, the square, and now we're going to look at the market.
We had a little rainfall last night.
We booked the Rainforest Adventure Ship Tour.
There are 3 activities here. There's the skyline, which doesn't take any effort. There's the zip line, which is going to take a lot of adrenaline. And there's the hike.
There are several varieties of snakes in the forest. We're en route to the springs and the volcano, and this is a $1 washroom stop. This is an active volcano, and all the mountains around it are the rim. So this could erupt.
So if you see I'm running, you follow.
It absolutely stinks. The Tamarind Club has a really intimate feel and is quite luxurious.
The full ship tour is on the Doris Visits video channel here on YouTube, as is the Iona, the Azores, the Arcadia. They're all there. The Bermudas are about 138 islands in a fishhook shape. It's said to be the jewel in the British territorial crown. If it's been your ambition to swim with dolphins, Bermuda is definitely your place, and it's minutes walk from the ship. As is the Water Sports Centre and Dockyard. There's a free park area in the dock, but the fun zone, which has a beach, party area, restaurant and a bar, is $10 to get in. There's a crazy golf course. There are a number of superb golf courses on the island. Bermuda is golf. If you're wondering where the visitor centre is, it's right next door to the ferry on stop number 1. Although you can get the bus for $4.50 one way into Hamilton and $4.50 back's $9. So I've chosen to take the $19 all-day pass. City Hall is Bermuda's Society for the Arts. And just behind it is the park with the bandstand. Next to City Hall is the central bus station. Now you've got yourself an all-day pass. This is Flats Bridge in Flats Village, Middle Road, that runs right through the middle of the island.
At the opposite end of the arena is the Havana, and this has more of a nightclub feel, and tonight it will be heaving because they've got a comedian on. Should you fancy a flutter, the casino on the Ventura is right next to the pub called Fortunes, where there's a great selection of beers and wines.
This venue, like the buffet, has no formal dress code.
This is the pub on deck 6 where you can watch the football or they do quizzes.
Which London district is noted for a park?
If you want a beach trip, St Anne's is a great place to come. And it's breezy, so the temperature is pleasant even though it's very hot.
Beautiful Guadeloupe is French, so it's part of the EU, and with a bit of luck you'll be able to use your smartphone, which means the local bus company app will work and you'll be able to buy a ticket to beaches like St Francis or St Anne's. To save time, you might like to download the app before you go.
This is the very picturesque Point des Chateaux. This is the drier side of the island. It gets much less rainfall. Tucked away in the greenery is a little bar.
This wonderful old plantation house is said to be haunted, and money has been sought to turn it into a visitors centre.
The art gallery is also on deck 5, as is Costa's.
Don't forget our cruise novels. Start with Cruise Ship Heist.
If you order a coffee, the cakes are complimentary.
Ponta Delgada in the Azores. The bus stops right by the ship. First tip, take a coat. Second tip,
By taking the bus tour at the end of the day, you often get it to yourself.
so for your morning you could turn left and walk to the fort, or go straight ahead and turn left into the town.
This island has a very different feel to the Caribbean, including the temperature, which is noticeably colder. I think I found my colour. I'm going to go and have a look at the town square. They've certainly made an effort with the pansies.
On our right is the Botanical Park, which we'll get to in a moment from the bus tour.
The Azores are a remote group of volcanic islands in the Atlantic Ocean.
In front of you, the Church of Saint Roch, the first Baroque church in the Azores.
The beaches are the darker volcanic sand.
It rains most days. They say they can have 4 seasons in one day, and they never know what clothes to wear because it can start out really cloudy, then get hot, then pour down with rain. So here we have one of the 2 botanical gardens.
So we've actually left the bus tour, which wasn't that exciting.
Oh wow, this is pretty.
There's so much to do on a ship, daytime and evening. Check your daily horizon and take it with you when you go out.
Go to the ship's menu on Doris Visits. You'll find every cruise operator listed, and next to that, every ship they have on their fleet. And finally, the relevant Facebook chat sites. Come and have a look around.
Tortola, in the British Virgin Islands. A place to park your ship and park your money. 3 things to do: walking tour, bus tour, or the beach. All the approved drivers wear a government shirt.
So every month they have a full moon party and people come from all over and they go down to Bomber's Shack.
From Stout's Lookout, you can get a fantastic view down to the bays.
Just want to give a shout out to Stout's Outlook. The loos are spotless.
The Coolwood Rum Distillery is just before the beach, so you could leave the tour, stay on the beach.
This beautiful beach is called Cane Garden Bay. Very important, it's got a beach bar.
And it's only about 20 to 25 minutes back. So if you wish to visit Road Town, which isn't that big, you can plan to do that as well.
This is the Virgin Island Folk Museum. It's a government-owned museum on slavery. This is the Lower Estate Sugar Works. Tsunami evacuation route. You go up. We've just been told what would happen in the case of a tsunami. The lights would flash, the lady would run out of the hut, shout tsunami, wave her arms, and everybody runs up the hill.
We hope this film's excited you to want to go on a 35-night cruise. We don't get anything for selling cruises, we don't sell cruises. But please, if you can, read Cruise Ship Heist while you're cruising, and please leave a review. Enjoy your cruise.